China is a national security threat to UK's health data. A leaked letter has been revealed. We're going to read into this exclusive from iNews, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from iNews with the headline of China is a national security threat to UK's health data, leaked letter reveals. Ministers reveal significant work related to national security after MPs raised concern about a BGI group, which was accused of trying to hack DNA data following its obtainment of an NHS contract. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So just to be clear, obviously, the NHS contract is actually now in, obviously, its data and its procurement, obviously being handed over to a US company called Platinum that was once that has ties to US spy and firm networks. So it's not, so our data is no longer going to be in just in the hands of the NHS, but with a private US company. I know that, but obviously, it sounds to me like this. Obviously, from this story, is that they were trying to get their hands on NHS health data. But the question is, why? What's the angle here for China if it was the case? Not enough answers I would have to this. Now, this is the first I actually heard of this story, and I've not seen this story anywhere else. So I'm probably going to say, to people reading this, to take this a little bit with a pinch of salt, I would say, with regards to it. So let's have a read into it, and I'll share more of my thoughts as we go along, you guys. So the government is moving to protect British DNA data from Chinese hacking attempts. Amid warnings they pose a risk to national security, a leaked letter has suggested. The correspondent appeared to confirm that the UK had concerns about a Chinese BGI Group following accusations that it had launched multiple hack attempts against Genomics England that were previously officially retracted. The Cabinet Office Minister John Glen, who supported Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden on national resilience, said in a letter that significant work relating to national security was being undertaken to minimise the risks, highlighted by an MP who raised concerns about BGI Group, which was reportedly handed an £11 million NHS Covid testing contract into 2021. Interesting. Minimise the risk. Okay. So they're saying that a Chinese group had made multiple hacks. This is following accusations of multiple hacks, apparently. It comes after MPs raised concern that Chinese hacking, including alleged attempts by BGI, would allow Beijing to analyse and predict which diseases may impact the British population. This would allow Beijing to seize exclusive rights to parents and technology that could give China leverage over the UK by creating a dispensary in health. Some have also warned that China could synthesize diseases that would particularly affect the British population, owing it up to the Chinese genetic makeup. I do think this is a bit of a stretch from. This does sound like quite a stretch here from this story. This seems like a bit of a stretch to me, you guys. To say that China could be creating a synthetic disease or some cause that may make us weaker and whatnot. I'm having a hard time buying this, but this one. Mr. Glen's letter in response to Conservative MPs Henry Smith appeared to reveal for the first time that the government's national security concerns about BGI and the wider China hack of health data following confusion sown last year after a minister reacted comments about the company. The then Science Minister George Freeman told MPs last year that he was told in 2014 that every week that Genomics England was receiving several attacks from BGI, and that it was a wake-up call for all of us, only for government sources to later backtrack on the claims by insisting there is no evidence of attempted hacking of Genomics England in 2014 from BGI. So they're saying that the then Science Minister was lying. He was lying about the several hack attempts. I'm not saying that there wasn't a hacking attempt from BGI. I probably would believe George Freeman here if he's saying that there were hacking attempts from China, because we know there's been other hacks from China and from Russia and other things. So I don't no doubt think that there was hacking attempts, but But government are saying there were no attempts. So Mr. Freeman then issued a correction to Halstead, the official parliamentary record, reasserting that there was no evidence that BGI attempts to hack Genomics England. So they said it wasn't. So he originally said it, and the government said it's not true, and then he's backtracked, then issued a correction. Why would he say it in the first place there? That's very interesting. The Cabinet has been grappling how to protect British health data for years, in line with the doctrine of being as open as possible, as securely as necessary. Most recently, in debates in Cabinet Economic Security Committee, Security Minister Tom Tugendhat have been pushing for tougher restrictions, while British Secretary Kimi Badenoch has restrained, arguing that the UK must not deter investment despite concerns about cyber attacks, the Eye has been told. In a speech on economic security on Wednesday, Mr. Dowden said the UK had decided not to designate genomics as a critical national infrastructure, insisting that a review of the issue concluded the current system could provide controls. In his letter, Mr. Glen, meanwhile, also pointed towards the UK's biological security strategy announced last year to show the government that was looking at how to minimise the risks from biological data to protect our bungling bioeconomy without stifling innovation. He also stressed organisations such as Genomics England actively consider national security in decision-making about partnership with companies overseas. Commenting on the letter leaked to the Eye, Labour MP and Commons Foreign Affairs Committee member Fabian Hamilton said the government must come to the House and address this issue. This is a credible, serious national security threat that's been raised by MPs from across the political spectrum. It should not be a party political issue, but the lack of clarity from the Conservatives is making it so. We must work with our US allies to tackle this threat immediately. Luke de Pulford, Executive Director of the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, said UK citizens deserve to be protected from exposure and companies seeking to harvest their DNA, especially when companies are answerable to authoritarian Beijing. I'm pretty sure that they'll be taking all the measures that they need. You would think that the British government would take any and all measures needed to protect healthcare data. You would think. A retracted investigation in 2021 found that China's BGI Group had developed a penile test in collaboration with the Chinese military and used it to collect genetic data from women from around the world for research on the trial of populations. BGI said it has never shared data for national security purposes and has never been asked to. The United States has added 3 units of BGI groups to its trace blacklist, including the Hong Kong lab where genetic samples from its penile tests and processed and stored. The Cabinet Office declined to comment on the leaks. The BGI Group said in a statement, these allegations against BGI are not based on facts or evidence. BGI is disappointed that misinformation continues to be circulated. On March the 9th, the then Minister Freeman corrected his statement by saying that there is no evidence of attempted hacks of Genomics of England in 2024 from BGI. BGI Group has never been and never will be involved in hack attacks against anyone. BGI Group's labs meet stringent standards for information security. Our data standards globally include the British Standards Institute, the BS 10012, considered the gold standard in personal information protection compliance with the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, the GDPR, and the ISO 27001 standard on information security. We will continue to support the UK in improving the health of the people and continue to advocate openly for inclusive global scientific collaboration with the aim of fighting disease more efficiently. So there's a strong case of denial there from the government and from those associated with the BGI Group that there was any kind of hacking whatsoever here. So it's entirely possible that this could be misinformation. It may not. There may actually be something to this, but I do believe that obviously, that if obviously I will take this story with a pinch of salt because I have not seen other news related to this. But I will say, obviously, if there is anything to come from this, information is money. Information can be used to help benefit a nation. And obviously, the UK's health data is a valuable asset. And like I said, a US health company has got access to our NHS data because it was bought off as well. So there, obviously, there's obviously value for money there. That is for sure. And I think if China were to get a hold of that health data, they would take the opportunity to do so. Obviously, I'm not sure to go as far as whether it would weaken if they're going to go that far, but we don't honestly know what the Chinese government are generally thinking. So we honestly just don't know the answers to that. I'm not sure how much of this I want to take seriously either. But what do you guys honestly think about this story? Because I'm still kind of sitting on the fence on this one. Part of me thinks there might be some truth to it. Part of it doesn't think, maybe it was just a big pinch of salt. But what do you guys think about this story? What do you make about this? Do you think China is after UK's health data potentially? Or is this maybe a bit too fabricated and maybe the story is a bit of a stretch? Let me know your thoughts and more about all this in the comments section down below. But if you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.